Hey everyone, welcome back. We are going to get our function that we created up into AWS. So if you remember before, we had a really simple serverless node function that returned, oh snap, it's your boy, and also some of the input meta from the event. So we are going to take this serverless configuration and we are going to get it up into AWS Lambda Cloud. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, let's give it a user. So we are going to go to, I'll start from the beginning here. Go to IAM, you're going to log into the console, then go to IAM. And then you will go to users. We're going to add a user. We'll do serverless test, for example. We're going to do programmatic access. Attach existing policies directly. And administrator access. Now, if you know anything about IAM and the alarm bells are sounding off because I'm giving it administrator access, that's okay. It's only just for this tutorial, and it's because we don't really know what we're going to be doing with it yet. It could access DynamoDB, it could do a lot of other services. So once you can figure out what it will do, you can match the existing, you can match the policy accordingly. So just for this tutorial, we're going to give it administrator access. Create user, and that's it. So now we have a user access key and a secret key. Okay, so now we need to get this information over to serverless. So the easiest way to do this, and this is just for this tutorial, there are many, many ways to do this, but for now we're just going to use environment variables, and that's just data that you put into the terminal, and then the code has access to when it runs. So how do we do that? Well, according to the docs here, we're going to export these environment variables with certain values. So we need to have AWS access key ID. So we're going to copy that. Oops. And then we are going to paste that. And what goes in here? Well, I will show you. It is this. So that's kind of the ID for that key. And we will paste that there. Cool. And I forget what's on either side of my screens here. Okay, and then this is our secret access key. Sorry, I forgot to, let's copy this first. Okay, and then we will go here. Secret access key. All right, so we will hit enter. Great. So now this thing has everything it needs to provision this service. It has the access key ID and the actual secret for our user that we created. So now we're going to do SLS deploy. You see where it says creating stack? That's because it has CloudFormation abilities in that user role. And as usual, if you guys are doing something pretty cool this weekend, drop it in the comments. This is what I'm doing this weekend as we speak. Okay, here we are. So now, look at that. We have a URL. I wonder what happens when we go to this URL. Let's see. Oh, snap, it's your boy. Look at that. Cool. So now we have a serverless function inside of AWS Lambda. And that is our public URL here that we have exposed. And you'll notice the /dev, that's just by default. You can create production, you can create all different kind of stages, but that's just the default. And if we want to see this, we can go back to our, where was I? Yep, here we go. Let's go back to Lambda. inside of AWS. And I think it's this one. Yep. And there it is. So the policy that we attached to the serverless user allowed it to provision all these things. It allowed it to spin up all these API gateway, CloudWatch logs, all this other stuff. And then you can see, look, here is our code that we had. Oh snap, it's your boy, which is exactly, in here. So there you go. And yeah, so that's how you get a serverless function up onto AWS and give it a public URL.